that this Saturn-Uranus opposition of 2008 brings up, you know, that we can, well, I love the dog whisperer. I don't know if you've ever seen that. You know, okay. So I go, we want to be politician whisperers. You know, Saturn, calm and assertive. Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty great. So I think the only thing that is a Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, a gift that distinguishes humans from the rest of our neighbors, is that we can borrow models of desirable leadership from animals. And so this Saturn-Uranus, I mean, anywhere there's Saturn, and Saturn retrograding back to trine Pluto before it's on its way, that's 2008 into late 2008, and then off we go. But all of this is, we're gathering as we go. And so I like, for instance, very much the wolf model of leadership. A friend, head of the Humane Society, and I live with a part wolf, said wolves don't operate on dominance. They operate on charisma. And in wolf culture, charisma means want to play. The alpha wolf leader is he or she who initiates play best. Now, it's not just play. It's like, let's go hunting, let's do this. And they do rituals. The alpha wolf will carry a bone in, other wolves surround him or her, ritual to represent bringing food. I mean, play, game, ritual. So I love that. And you can also tell I mean, isn't that a leadership criterion we'd really like? The most playful. Who draws out the most ingenious, inventive of people? Wonderful. And you can tell the alpha wolf within 10 days of birth, when it's a pup, because it's the wolf pup with the lowest resting heartbeat. So this is very Saturn. It's the calmest and the most dynamic. And this brings us into the practicality of applying our beautiful language of astrology. You know, Saturn, leadership and authority, really only bad when we abdicate it to sociopaths. We want to inhale it back in. So the word cool, meaning hip, you know, popularized by jazz musicians in the 40s, comes from Yoruba word kulu kulu. And it meant completely responsible. The cool guy took care of the neighborhood, you know. The cool drummer was just the drummer, the divine. No overplaying, no stagecraft. Excuse me. And kulu kulu in Yoruba means cool temperature, just like it does in English. And so the Yoruba and the power of language, Saturn and Virgo leading us into this whole dynamic, the precision of language, you know, Virgo, the magician, language is magical. So the Yoruba, in giving us this word cool, that we want to restore to its original meaning, they say, if we imagine, literally, and we can all do this now, our heads as cool in temperature and our hearts as warm, it's the opposite of reaction. It's the zone of freedom. It's the opposite of road rage. But it allows our brains to handle enhanced superconductivity of information. And that's actually how the Yoruba put it in the 19th and 18th and 17th centuries. They understood this. I just want to finish this last thought. Because then it allows us to enter hot situations as agents of cool, rather than caught up in reaction, agents of democracy. And I'd say for all of us, you know, to be the medicine people, antidote to fear, antidote to reaction. Because if we're afraid, we'll give up our freedom. So we are the antidote. You know, we really want to be cool, you know, in an authentic way. We sort of distill what failed in '68, you know, where we let the secular structure go blah, 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 back into orthodoxy and domination and up to no goodness. And so I like to say, you know, Pluto, principle of power. We go to the source of this. Our indigenous souls know in our bones and our blood that we don't source power. We invite it. You know, and we invite it by dedicated, especially Pluto and Capricorn, dedicated intention, ritual, you know, anything physical we do with symbolism, you know. And the modern world's complete, you know, again, why we've gotten to this giant, horrific, you know, sociopathic kerfuffle, is that the modern world mistakes dominance for power. Pluto says dominance is the toxic mimic of power. You know, dominance and control. So that idea is we invite power into the world, and as stewards, then we direct it by the power of blessing and story and well-wishing. May it go well for you. May this happen. May our ingenuity be applied here. So really getting that one straight. Uranus, again, breaking these old spells. Uranus, awakening the Pluto-Uranus. But it is absolutely about authentic, democratic relationship to Pluto, to power. And that's what the 60s really didn't have, even in the leading edge. The civil rights movement, really great, but when Martin Luther King comes for his I Have a Dream speech to Washington, D.C., there are many, many, many women who had participated equally in the civil rights, advancement and story, and none of them, they were asked to walk with the wives. And this is, and they go, I like to, I like to think that, I like to think that the gods hold the good to a higher standard. The Dementors of Doom, the Bushes, and the guy go, we are up to no good. And they go, yes, you are. Go right ahead. And our team shows up going, I am Al Gore or whatever, an embodiment of democracy. And they go, the hell you are. You're not treating people equal, or whatever. So that idea of really living it, I mean, we really want, but this is also, again, the power, inviting it in, and the power of our vows and our dedication and valuable stories is an appropriate humbleness that we can't be even who we want to be, which is why we make vows, aspirations. Oh, spirit of, wolf that animates the universe, hold me to this. This is my aspiration, the direction I want to go in, of spiraling and story. And, the trickster, I'm completely dedicated to the trickster's use of power, which is the trickster, Uranus-Pluto, is absolutely clear that we throw the ring of power back into the crack of doom, where it reintegrates with nature. And this is really huge because regardless of how hip somebody is or right-wing somebody is, the more crucial category is, do they want the ring of power? It's a Galadriel in the movie or the book, but if I had it, if astrologers had it, or left-wing progressives, or more informed people, and it's like, no, we're going to die that way. We want to die to dominance lest we die from it, in every kind of way. So it's really a big experiment of going, the experiment of authentic trickster, real understanding of power, and that's why my dedication is to the compassionate trickster within all of us, who's been in the green room for several, thousand years. And the green room is way cool because in Greek theater, the backstage room, and here we are, it was called the green room because it was dedicated to Dionysus, the green man. So each actor, regardless of their role, like here we are right now, in the green room, would dedicate themselves to the well-being of the flora and the fauna, and then step on stage. And so I love, the Uranus and Pisces into Aries. That's why my dedication is the compassionate trickster within all of us that's been waiting backstage and who says, against all odds are the odds that trickster likes. And we go, now is perfect, against all odds. But the trickster, so, in growing the Mythological News Service, I have Coyote Network News Service, so I have Mythological Bureau Chiefs. Scheherazade is the Bureau Chief of the Middle East. Okay, these tricksters. Because what she does, through the power of story, is she not only lifts the curse from the land, liberates all women, but she liberates even the tyrant from his own murdered soul. King Shahryar at the end of the 1001 Nights says, you are a liberator, you have liberated me from my murderous heart. And when she's married at the end of the 1001 Nights, she's wearing a magnificent robe that is embroidered with all of the creatures and the insects and the flowers and the plants. She, the king, the ruler must wed the land. And so again, the trickster quality that exists everywhere. So I'm very pro that, and compassionate trickster. I also live with a coyote. I mean, an actual half coyote dog, and I go, compassion would be good. But that idea of, okay, now we have Neptune, Uranus, in cahoots. Our powers of imagination and ingenuity, and in this powerful, reciprocal placement, mutual. Neptune in Aquarius, Uranus, a sign Uranus in Pisces.